Miami Hurricanes suffer a devastating loss to the Virginia Cavaliers 86-83, but rebounded in a big way on the road against what was a, a hot Florida State team, winning by 10 against the Seminoles. I'll let Evan give his initial thoughts, what he thinks of, Miami suffering the tough loss and then bouncing back on the road to defeat Florida State, an in-state rival, a game that Miami had to win. Well, not had to win, but you felt like they did. Florida State had beaten them, in Coral Gables earlier in the year. So that was a big win for Miami to get, but I'll let Evan give his thoughts really quick.
Yeah, I actually got to watch a decent amount of that Miami and Virginia game in Virginia. That was a heartbreaker for sure because they were winning that game and they're controlling that game. But you could take some positives for that. Like it was a close competitive loss to I think a better team. I think if you look on paper, I think Virginia is better than Miami just by a little bit. But you could say like, hey, we can play defense with a team ranked in the teens, probably going to be like a 4 seed or something in March Madness. Like we can play with these guys, and we probably should have won this game. So again, I do think Virginia is probably the slightly better team, but that was definitely a game Miami could have won. So good signs for that. Just like I think last time we talked about Miami basketball, though, just still like on the road, still just got to quite get it done. But they did play good, but did choke a little bit there. And then yeah, to bounce back, beat FSU, who's a decent team, I believe. I actually don't know a lot about FSU basketball, but again get another ACC win, that's pretty big. I don't think at this point, and Jake's not here to defend himself, so oh well. I just get to say what I want. But no, I don't think Miami is a natty contender at this point. But again, I would, if they look like a 6 seed, like a 6 or 7, I thought they might be a 5, but they're gonna have to win some of these tough games to maybe get that. But like 5, 6, or 7, maybe. They're a threat to. I still think they're a threat to get to the Sweet 16. We'll have to see about more. And to close out the season, they're gonna have a little bit of a chance to prove that. They play at SMU, who's a very good squad, and then they've got a ranked Louisville team at home to close out the regular season. So they'll get more of a chance to prove it for sure. What do you think, Jordan?
Yeah, so after the demoralizing loss against, Virginia, which Miami definitely had a chance to win that game, they were up by, I believe, 11 in the first half. And unfortunately, let that one slip away. But the win at Florida State, I thought, like I mentioned, Florida State was hot. Um, they weren't exactly favored, but, playing at home, in-state rivalry game, Miami, Florida State, in any sport, I think that's, huge, especially, football. But basketball, I think, really, matters too to both of those fan bases. I the the win at Florida State really it gave them back the confidence. Losing the heartbreaker at Virginia, I think Evan can attest to this as well. I don't know it. I'm sure something in your life has happened where you felt demoralized after. Um, it it messes with your confidence level, and I thought Miami really got it back with the road win at Florida State. So that's why I thought that was, huge for them. Not that Florida State is elite by any means, but just the confidence builder. And like Evan mentioned, the remaining schedule for Miami features, a home game against Boston College. You go to Dallas to face SMU, and then you come home face Louisville, who I believe is fourth in the ACC right now. So that's a possible ACC tournament matchup preview, which would be taking place in I believe it's Charlotte. So just Miami big time win at Florida State. Like I said, not that Florida State's elite, but it's a confidence builder.
Yeah, very good point by Jordan there. And I think about like the being demoralized and how can you avoid that? I think when you're in a conference like particularly these three, the ACC, the Big Ten, and the SEC for basketball, specifically, like you've got so many stacked teams in those conferences, like you're just not going to go undefeated. Like it's not going to happen. Like you can have a really good season, but like you may even the really really good teams like Auburn last year, stuff like you're gonna have a loss or two, like 99% of the time. So you're gonna lose games because you're playing really good teams all the time. It's about how do you handle it. Do you are you staying close? Are you finishing them down the wire? Or and then, like Jordan said, do you start playing down to competition? Do you start losing the big games by 20 instead of two? It's about how you handle it. And yeah, definitely a decent job by the Hurricanes to bounce back, I would say.
And then just to add on to Evan's point here about the big time teams not going perfect or whatever. Even Duke slipped up on the road at North Carolina, and Duke's the number one team in the country right now, so that can attest to that. So look, I mean North Carolina's a good basketball team. Don't get me wrong, but I mean it's just proving Evan's point right there that Duke's very good, but you're not gonna go undefeated in the ACC, Big Ten, or SEC specifically.